Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of From the Heart. I'm your host, Chloe Trca, and this is a podcast where we talk all things health, wellness, business, lifestyle, mindset, anything I'm walking through. I like to turn around and give you guys advice on my experience so you can learn through my life lessons and my life experiences. Every week, I like to ponder, I like to reflect, and I'm like, what did this week, this day, this season of life teach me? And you will be surprised if you did this on a weekly basis, like every Sunday. Sit down and ask yourself, like, what did this week teach me? You would be astonished. One week is loaded with so much knowledge and experience. I feel like the Lord is just always teaching me, refining me, and putting me through different experiences to better me, better my character. And it's just such a blessing to be able to turn around and share it with you guys. If you listened to last week's episode, you heard the story about my experience with my blood draw. And I'm happy to report, I want to start sprinkling in at the beginning of every episode a praise report. And I just want to talk about something great that happened this week because I feel like it gives people hope. If something good happened in my life, it can also happen in yours. And I just think it's good to spread positivity. It's good for me to share my gratitude for different things that I experienced in life. And I am so proud of myself, you guys. Today, literally a few hours ago today, I had to get my blood drawn a second time because, again, if you heard the story from last week, if you didn't, I'll catch you up in a little short summary. But I had to get my blood drawn for some labs that I'm doing for a holistic health coaching program I'm going to go into, and we're testing my hormones. So I think the blood was actually for my food sensitivity, which will be very interesting to get back because I'm not I think I might be gluten-free, and I think this will tell me for sure. I think I might be gluten-free, but I don't know for sure. But I know there's some vegetables I'm intolerant to. I just think it will be so informative and so interesting to get back the results. But I did the blood draw for my food sensitivity. I also did a stool sample for my gut health. And then I also did a urine sample for my hormones. So I'm excited to get those back. And I will definitely share part of that journey on here on my podcast if you guys are interested. I'm sure I'll talk about it a lot on my Instagram as well. So go follow that if you don't already at Chloe Trca. But anyway, I had to go and get second round of blood draw, and I was like, this would happen because, of course, something I'm so terrified of and so scared of. And I had a bad experience with just like a week and a half ago. I passed out 2 times. Kyler actually is convinced and thought I was having a seizure. I don't think I was. Some of you guys have even DM'd me and that happens to me. So I think we're clear on the seizure thing. Again, I don't want to downplay the severity of the seizure at all. I don't want that to be what you guys think when I'm saying that, but we just don't know. It was kind of scary. It was kind of weird. I did not react well to getting my blood drawn. So having to do it a second time, I was like, Lord, come on. Cause I was praying, y'all. When I was passing out, in and out of passing out, I was praying and stuff. So it was scary because I was still leaning on the Lord to get me through it. And it was interesting. But today I went in with a whole new perspective, a fresh perspective, kind of like we talked about last week, how a lot of things are these self-fulfilling prophecies. And I think I truly created this doubt and this narrative in my head that I can't do blood, I can't do needles. I don't even saying that anymore because it's I'm just creating this narrative for my life, and that doesn't have to be the case because today I got my blood drawn and I didn't pass out and I was fine. So that's a win, and I'm going to add that to my win tally that I faced my fear and I conquered it and I beat it. I'm genuinely so proud of it. I'm a high today from it, which is so silly because it's it took 2 minutes of my day. It was literally the fastest thing ever. But that's a real fear and a real struggle of mine. I avoid a lot of things if they revolve around needles and blood. So to do what I did today and not pass out, I was like, okay, that's a win. A few things I did too to prepare in case you guys have the same experience, because I know a lot of you do. A lot of y'all were DMing me on Instagram this week, talking about oh, I also struggle with this. And you guys were giving me advice, and I took note of that. And I messaged some of my friends who are in med school or just in the healthcare system, and I was asking for advice. And so I actually got an at-home blood draw company to come to me, and she drew my blood. She came to my apartment and did it, which was so nice. I didn't have to go to a lab. I didn't have to sit in this creepy weird I'm just not a fan of those rooms. They just already create this feeling. So I was like, you know what, in the comfort of my own living room on my couch watching Gilmore Girls, sign me up. I'll do that instead. So I did that. I really just breathed deep before. I didn't let myself get too anxious, even though I was really nervous. When she called me, she's like, okay, I'm 10 minutes away. I was like, oh boy, deep breath. I was like, ooh, like how's this gonna go? I think it wasn't even the blood draw. It was just the fact that before the evidence that I had, it was like I did pass out and I didn't want that to happen again. I was fearing passing out more than I was actually fearing the process of it. And so I really like talked myself through it. And then it was so helpful because I was able to like lay on my couch, like really relaxed back, because you're just going to do it at like my kitchen table. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like I need to go sit on my couch because I don't want to tip off this bar stool. So I sat on my couch, had Gilmore Girls on like really loud. And my mom and my aunt are in town and they're staying with me, which is so fun. We've been decorating the whole house Christmas. So my apartment is really cozy. Like twinkly lights, my Christmas tree, just all of the fun, cute, adorable Christmas decor is out. So it's a good environment to be in. And I was just chatting with my mom and my aunt about work. I'm like, I can talk about my work forever. I love it. And I'm so passionate about what I do. And it's like my favorite topic to talk about. And that is all consuming. So if you have to get your blood drawn, think of a topic or take yourself to a happy place. If you've ever seen Happy Gilmore, kind of a weird example, but I'm like, I get that. Like I have a happy place. I can take myself to a happy place. And so I did that and I just really deeply talked about my work. And before I knew it, you guys might think I talk fast on my podcast. I talked even like 2 times, 4 times speed with my aunt and my mom because I'm like, I cannot have a single second of like thoughts other than work in this conversation because I can't let my brain go to the fact that blood is getting drawn from my arm right now. I was talking about work and then next thing I knew, she pulled it out and we were good to go. And I was like, wait a minute. And she told me too before. She's like, oh, I've never had anyone pass out on me. And I was like, girl, I'm sorry, Johnny girl. I might break that record. I hope I don't, but I'm giving you a heads up. Like we're gonna have to do everything possible. And she did it so fast. And I was so proud to give her a 5-star review online. I'm like, you are the bomb.com. So that was great. It was like First Lab, I think it was called First Labs. If you're like local to Phoenix, check them out. It was so nice. If you ever have to get blood work done, it was only like $30 more to do that than it was to go to the place. I'm like, I would have spent like $100 more. It was that much better. And she was here for maybe 5 minutes. Like it was the fast, like 5 minutes to prep, do it, pack it all up and leave. Like it was so fast. Anyway, that was my praise report. I faced my fear and I beat it. And I really think it boiled down to last week's episode. I really think I reframed and I rephrased the narrative in my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be okay. Like it's going to be fine. And I set myself up to succeed because failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So I did everything I could to put the odds in my favor to not pass out. And it worked. And I'm like, praise God. Praise God. And I texted all my friends too to pray for me. Because I told them like my little group chat, my like friends from church, the group, like I have a friend group that we do dinners every Tuesday night, and it's like my young adult pastor, it's our worship like pastor, and then it's another couple from our church. He's also studying to be a pastor, so it's lots of pastors. I'm like, pray for me, please, and Kyler, and so it was just great. And anyway, if you guys care at all, I'm sorry if you don't care at all, and you just want to hear about this title of this episode this week, and it's your motivation isn't lacking, it's your why. That's a heavy title. That's a big title. I'm excited to get into this because this is what has been on my heart this week. Like major. I'm so excited to talk about this episode. I wanted to get that praise report out of the way, but I was actually very excited to talk about that as well because you guys are just the sweetest and I just adore every single one of you guys listening and messaging me every week and we're just like chatting. All of you guys messaging me today too when you saw my story because I did post on my story how like I didn't pass out and everyone's like, oh my gosh, listen to your episode. Like so proud of you, whatever. It was sweet and I just really appreciate it. But anyway, let's get into the episode. So, again, your motivation isn't lacking, it's your why. Your why is what's lacking. And this is what I had the revelation this week of this. I was walking on the walking pad in the morning, or maybe it was a treadmill, whatever, on my morning walk, editing, scrolling, listening to podcasts. I've been listening to the book Iron Hope. That's what it's called. It is so good. I listened to it on Audible, and I have just been so inspired. I have been so inspired because you guys know I'm on my 5 a.m. journey right now. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. because I really was convicted that I wasn't stewarding my time well enough. I could be giving more, could be working harder. And I feel like these last 4 weeks, I've been about 4 weeks into this and I have never felt better. I really haven't. And I think that's been reflective if you guys follow me on socials and stuff. I post my life, but I do feel like the joy is there because I'm giving my full effort. Like I'm able to walk into my purpose, walk into the blessings God has for me because I'm pouring into myself too. I think it's important to pour into other people, but you have to give yourself like your best step forward. And I feel like I'm doing that. And it has put so much like peace over me. It's been a whole journey with the Lord. Like I have been praying a lot about this and a lot about where I'm going in the future. And that peace on top of knowing I'm giving it my all, like there's nothing I have to really worry about anymore. And I'm in a position where like old Chloe would have been really stressed out and really worried. And so it's really cool to see that difference in myself. So anyway, I have just been like doing all the things. I have been like listening to audiobooks, getting inspired, and inspiration, aspiration, motivation. These are all different categories. And I think it's important to pour into all of them, but know the differences. And I have a whole episode on inspiration versus aspirations. That's a really good one. It's like from a year ago. It's quite old, but it's really important to understand those two differences because as a Christian, I don't want to idolize anyone ever, but you can get and gain inspiration. It's like scrolling Pinterest. It's like scrolling Instagram, whatever. You find a creator, it's like, oh, I'm inspired by that person. They're inspiring me to want to live my life in a similar way. Aspiring is a little bit closer. It's a little more of a fine line because you're aspiring to be like somebody. You want to be like them. But I don't think we should ever want to be like someone other than Jesus, to be honest. So I think it's important to get like inspiration. You can aspire to be similar, but also don't like idolize that person. It's a very fine line. Anyway, all that to say, I went to the Ironman this weekend because it was in Phoenix, like in Tempe, which isn't too far from me. And I went a couple years ago and I just remember how like inspired I was by seeing all of this hard work and people just putting their minds and bodies through ultimately like the most difficult physical challenge that exists. An Ironman, if you're not familiar with what it is, you swim like 2.4 miles. So on average, it's like 1 to 2 hour swim. 1 hour for like the very fast, quick, experienced swimmers and like 2 hours for women, probably similar to our age. And then it's a 112-mile bike ride, which varies between like 5 to like 8 or 9 hours. Like it just depends how fast you go. It can be very different. I would say women, a competitive speed, a competitive time is between like 7 and 8 hours, I believe. And then like our age, and then they run a marathon, 26.2 miles, which is insane. So this challenge on like the fast pace is anywhere around like sub 9. Anything under 9 hours is like really good. So think about putting yourself through something for 9 hours. Most people are like finishing at like 15 hours. The fact that you can even finish that is the victory in itself. So inspiring. Obviously, I wasn't there the whole time. I really just watched like the marathon part because they just did a bunch of loops around the Tempe Town Trail. And so I went and I just left being like, wow, like blown away. And I've just been like all over Ironman, TikTok, and Instagram and just seeing the work ethic and the hustle. And I'm like, what do they have that I don't have? And I remember asking myself that question when I met my friend Kayla. And it was before I was saved. And I was like, what does she have that I don't have? I notice that in people. If there's something about somebody, I can catch it. And I think you guys are similar too. It's like there's something different about them. And your spirit kind of gets stirred up a little bit and you kind of want it and you're hungry to like learn more. And so with Kayla, it was Jesus. And I'm like, she has Jesus. I want Jesus. And that's really what like kickstarted my faith full-fledged. Anyway, for this, obviously a little different, not the Lord. But they have a passion and they have a why. Because I was asking myself, I'm like, how do they put themselves through 10 to 15 hours of like vigorous, painful, like physical activity, movement? Like it's insane to me. Like I know they're all like broken. Like they are in so much pain. And then to think even deeper on that, it's like the year of training that this takes. Like most people prep for a year, 6 to 12 months for an Ironman. That is a very, very long time. For a half marathon, I prep for like 12 weeks. That's like 3 months. So it's like 2 to 4 times as long. And that feels like a long prep. So I'm asking myself, how day in and day out do you prep and put yourself through like 2 a days, 3 a days, every single day, like long workouts? Grueling workouts. And I just kept circling back to seeing all this content, seeing all these people. And I'm like, they have whys. They have a really, really deep why. And so I was questioning myself because I don't want to run an Ironman. I don't want to compete and train for an Ironman right now. Maybe one day, never say never, but like, that's not where I'm going with this. But I have goals and I'm on this, like I'm on week 4 of the comeback program, my new workout program that I launched. And I'm on week 4 of waking up at 5 a.m. And I was like, I feel so good, but I'm still at that like kind of that newborn phase, like the honeymoon phase of it, where I still have high motivation and it's like exciting. Are there some days where the motivation's gone and I just have to have discipline? Yeah, but it goes beyond discipline because at some point the discipline's going to waver. Okay. And we'll get into that. But I'm like, I want to feel like this all the time. Like, how do I ensure that happens? Because like I said with the blood draw thing, if we fail to prepare, we prepare to fail. So I'm thinking ahead. I'm like, what do I need to do to ensure that I don't crumble and I don't fail, which it's okay if we fail, we just get back up. It's going to happen. Like there's going to be days where it's not perfect, but like, how do I continue to go on and go forth? Because this is like for the longevity of my life. And that's a huge thing to understand when you're making life changes, lifestyle changes. If you want to get healthier, if you want to get active, these aren't just temporary quick fixes. Like my 8-week comeback program, like that's preparing me for my next program, for the next thing I'm walking into. Like it's not 8 weeks and done. It's not, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. for a month and I'm done. It's not 75 days of 75 hard and I'm done. Like I'm creating habits that create my lifestyle that I'm able to do for the long run. Like I want them to be sustainable and realistic. And so I circled back and I'm like, what is my why? And I really was asking myself this. And I realized like, if I have a deep enough, big enough why, I'll never fail because it goes beyond me. It goes beyond my own flesh. It goes beyond my own emotions and desires because it's something so much greater than me. And I think we can apply this in our fitness journeys. We can apply this to our work. We can apply this to our faith walk, anything in life. Like if you struggle to stay accountable to anything, it boils back down to your why. It's not good enough. Truthfully, it's not deep enough. It's lacking. Your why is lacking. You need to have a deeper why. Even if you're like, I have a why, I know what my why is, but you're still stumbling often. Again, we're going to stumble every now and then, but if like time and time again, it's like you have tried to diet and you keep failing, and you try to work out and you keep failing, try to start running and you keep failing. It's your why that's the problem, because we're not going to be motivated all the time. That's just basic like human psychology. Like we can't be motivated all the time. Discipline is going to lack. Like we're going to mess up. Things are going to happen. The biggest catch for me I've noticed too is like I'm a pretty disciplined person, but my life is crazy and I'm always like moving and on the go and traveling and going places. So I mess my routine up. And once I get a little wrench in my routine, that's what sends me off track. And that's when I'm like, oh, I was waking up at 5 a.m. every day until I traveled. Then I came back and I'm trying to get back on track. And then 2 weeks went by and it just was out of routine and I found a new routine. That's what always happens to me for like everything. And so I have ensured and like prepared myself for those moments now because I'm aware that that's my problem. That's like my common denominator in all of these failures. And two, it's like I have a deeper why now, that it's a deep enough why that even when I travel, even when my routine's off, I still stick to these things that I need to be doing so I don't fall off track. So you don't always just lack motivation. Like I said, you lack your why. So take a moment, reflect, be like, what is my why? Do I have a why? What is my why? Is it deep enough? We'll get more into it though. Okay. So just hold that thought, because the ultimate truth is I think we're all like, oh, I'm lazy. I literally said that a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I'm getting lazy. I'm getting soft. I'm a woman in my early 20s. Was I getting a little soft? Yes. But I also think we need to be like loving to ourselves. So we can't be like hardcore all the time. But healthy discipline and self-control is a fruit of the spirit. So it's an important thing to steward. But you can be over the top at the same time. So it's like know your levels and know where you're going and what that requires, because that will create the tolerance. Like I view things in like a meter. So it's like you don't want to be like doing so much that you get so burnt out, but you want to make sure you're pushing yourself and bettering yourself every day. So like creeping up on that meter. But the thing is, you're not lazy or you're not unmotivated. It's not that you're inconsistent. Like get that narrative out of your head. Kind of like last week, it's like brush that aside. If you always fail, like, oh, I'm just lazy. I'm just kind of lazy. I don't know. I just get lazy with that. Or that's the one area I get lazy with. Maybe it's cleaning your house. Maybe it's going on a walk. Maybe it's reading books. Oh, I'm just lazy when it comes to that. No, like you're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. We all lack motivation sometimes. Like we're all technically unmotivated at some points. And we're all going to be inconsistent. No one's perfect forever. Like life just lifes sometimes. Okay. So we're going to have little bumps in the road. Maybe it's different seasons of life. Maybe you are pregnant. Maybe you're healing from an injury. Maybe you're healing from a sickness. Maybe, who knows? I mean, fill in the blank, you know. The thing is, you're none of those. So wipe that clean. You're disconnected. You're disconnected from your why. That why and you are not, like, you got to wake up and look yourself in the mirror and remind yourself on a daily basis of what your why is, and get that so embedded in your brain and in your just like, it's going to be hardwired. Okay. Because motivation isn't sustainable on its own. Like I said, like we cannot find fulfillment and it won't sustain us forever. I mean, period, point blank, period. Motivation will not sustain you forever. You cannot live off motivation. Even if you're like, no, I'm really motivated. Like it will happen. at one point you're going to circle back and like, yeah, Chloe is right. Like, I hate to break it to you, but again, it's like failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So failing to prepare for a season of like unmotivatedness, it's going to happen. There's going to be parts of your cycle where you're unmotivated, like in your luteal phase, or the holiday season's coming up. We're either going to be really motivated, really unmotivated. Typically at the beginning of the new year, super motivated. 2026, woohoo, new year, new me. By February, everyone's unmotivated. Think about it. But it's because they're disconnected. Okay. Understanding you're just disconnected. And that's easy because that's a problem to solve. When you claim like I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated, I'm inconsistent, those are more so like titles. But when you say I'm disconnected, just get reconnected. The thing is with motivation, it's going to die when there's nothing attached to it. It's not sustainable because it's not connected. There's nothing attached to it. So me getting up at 5 a.m., I have a deeper why. Like it goes so beyond just being like, I wake up at 5 a.m. just because I think that's the right thing to do. You know how hard that's going to get? Today I had to wake up at 4:45 in the morning. I got 5 hours of sleep today. Is that healthy? No, I'm not promoting that. But I hold myself accountable. I said on the hard days, we're still going to get up and do it. And we're going to learn a lesson through it. Because I woke up and I was dog tired. So tired. But my family's in town, like I said. We were Christmas shopping all night. And I wanted to enjoy that moment. I was like, I don't want to speed up this night. I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of sleep. And I know it's going to suck tomorrow. But I'm just going to grind through it because it's almost the end of the week. I think I'll be okay. But I booked a solid core class with a friend at 6 a.m. this morning. So I had to get up at 4:45 to make it to solid core. I went to bed at like 11:30. Not great. Probably going to be quite tired by tonight. But like I was prepared for it today. I was like, hey, what do I need to do to ensure my energy throughout the day and to be able to show up where I need to show up? And the thing is, I would not have been able to get up if there wasn't something attached to it. So like this morning, knowing I was meeting my friend for solid core, knowing there's a $30 fee if I don't show up to the class, I'm gonna get up and go. So it's like it needs to be that deep of like someone's accounting on you, which my why is like my future family and it's you guys, and it's just so much. I'm not gonna go into like the exactness of it, maybe one day, I don't know, but like just understand it's not just to post a TikTok online. That's motivation. That gives me motivation to do it and accountability to do it. But even then, like that's not going to sustain me forever. My why is so deep and so rooted that it gets me out of bed. Like no matter how tired I am, like I don't hit snooze and skip it. I accidentally slept through my alarm one time. That was one time. It's all right. We don't let a bad moment dictate a bad day. Okay. We wipe it clean, restart and have a good day. But the thing is, what you need to do is you need to not just have a surface level goal. You need to have a rooted goal. So the difference between those, if you're kind of confused. So a surface level goal is like, for example, I want to build a business. Cool. I want to build a business too. That's a surface level goal. It's easy to say, more difficult to apply, easier to kind of just like push down the road. But if you say, I want to break a generational curse, there's a little more behind that. There's a little more passion, emotion, people involved, feelings involved. It's deeper rooted, like deeper. Okay, a generational curse. That's a huge thing with me and my lifestyle and eating healthy and moving my body because I want my kids to have an example of a healthy mother and a healthy household. And I don't want to carry any insecurity, any unhealthy habits onto them because you are literally teaching your kids through example. And I want to get myself straight before I bring children into this world so I don't have to fix myself as I'm parenting. I want to be like ready. So I'm doing everything I can right now. Think about your goals. Are they surface level goals or are they deep rooted goals? Because you want a deep rooted goal. You can get a deep rooted goal from the surface level. It's just kind of like draw an arrow, connect it over what's like one level deeper. Because people quit when discomfort increases. And that's why you need to have this like deep why, because discomfort, y'all, me getting my blood drawn, that was really uncomfortable. I wanted to quit. The other day I did practically quit. My body quit on me. I literally passed out when it's uncomfortable. Think of all the times you quit when it's uncomfortable, when it's unknown, when there's a change. I have realized I have avoided change so much since graduating college for like 3 years, besides moving out of the country or out of the state. That was actually a huge change. But for a while, I honestly take that back. I was doing a lot of things in certain areas that were new and different. But in other areas of my life, I was staying in the comfort zone because it's scary. It's hard. It's the unknown. We can't predict what's going to happen. And humans, we don't like that. We don't like to not know what's like the end result, right? So that's when motivation gonna like not help, okay? When you're uncomfortable, you're gonna prioritize uncomfortableness over motivation. You're like, I'm gonna motivate myself through this really uncomfortable situation. Like those Iron Man people, do you think they were very motivated at mile 200 of this race? or whatever. It's like 170 miles or something. No, they're probably ready to quit. But they had such a deep why. They probably had a promise to themselves. They're probably doing it for their family, a loved one. Who knows what the reason they're doing it. But everyone that toes up to that start line, I guarantee you has a deep, deep why. A deep why. And I bet they don't listen to music when they're doing an Ironman. No music. They run a whole marathon to their own thoughts. That would put me into an interesting state of mind. Let's just say that. But I guarantee you, like clockwork, over and over and over, they were reminding themselves of their why and why they're doing this. And probably in training, probably more so in the early mornings, the late nights, the fatigueness of the year of training that they were going through. That why kept them through. Because I bet there's a lot of people who commit to signing up for an Ironman and don't make it to race day because of the journey it takes to get there. That's what I'm saying. Towing up to the line is a victory in itself. People quit when discomfort increases. So as discomfort was increasing through the Ironman, quitting. Not everyone finishes an Ironman. You can start and it doesn't mean you're going to finish because their why isn't deep enough to hold through friction. So when friction increases and things get more difficult and uncomfortable and uneasy, we start dropping like flies, right? So you have to kind of learn to channel emotions into fuel. That's what I have also done because like that's for me like a generational curse. That's like an emotional tie and I can channel those emotions into fuel to power through those moments, right? Or I take myself to my happy place. That's like an emotional place that I take myself to because the emotion kind of overtakes the other emotion of like stress or anxiety or worry or pain, right? We put a happy emotion in there because we act with consistency only when something emotionally matters. That's when we show up consistently, right? I think if you're a parent listening, I don't know how many parents I have listening, but I can guarantee you show up better for your children than you do yourself because you have an emotional attachment and you kind of have like, you have a responsibility, right, to your child. Or maybe if you're listening as your boyfriend or your best friend, or maybe you're like a caretaker, you're a nurse, whatever it is. It's like you have an emotional tie to something other than yourself that goes beyond you. And you show up for them. So why are we showing up for everyone else in our life and not ourselves? Probably because we don't have an emotional fuel within in yourself other than like a negative emotion. But like we can't just channel only negative emotions. We can use those as fire, a little bit of gasoline, but it's like that can't be the fuel that we like live off of. Because a true why is tied to identity and not ambition. So your why has to be attached to who you want to be and who you are aspiring and wanting to become, right? Like me, I want to become more like Christ. I keep that at the center of my thought. Every time I'm going to respond, react, do anything, I'm like, wait, how would Christ respond in this situation? Like, am I doing the Christ way? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? I ask myself that daily. That person's laying on their horn. Jesus would not have done that. Okay. Anyway, but it has to be more than ambition because we're ambitious at the beginning. We're motivated. We're excited. I want to do an Ironman. I want to be an Ironman. Gotta like be something in your identity. Like it has to be like a character trait that's like switching, developing, refining through that process. Okay. Because purpose turns into tasks, intention. Okay, wait, let me reread that. I have this written down. How was I thinking this through? Oh, right. Okay. So it says, purpose turns tasks into intention and pain into direction. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time and then break it down. Purpose turns a task, okay, like a workout, into intention, and it also turns pain into direction. So think about it. A really hard workout is like your task. For me, a lot of this stuff is like training because it's physically hard. Like I know it's going to be hard before I even do it. So it's like it's hard to get yourself excited about putting yourself through pain, right? But I always think about the outcome and how good I'm going to feel after it too. A task turns into intention. So like my intention behind it is like, I'm going to become mentally tougher. I'm going to become mentally stronger. I have control. I have self-control to go beyond my feelings and my emotions. Okay, we're going to act outside of those right now. That's like my intention behind doing the hard workout. I'm intending to get stronger. I'm intending to prep for high rocks. I'm intending to build my strength and speed. And then through that, we can turn the pain into direction. So it's like the physical pain I may experience. I love the quote. This was my screensaver in high school, literally sophomore year of high school. And it says, the pain you feel today is the strength that you will feel tomorrow. And I'm like, that blew my mind. That was like my life motto. I think that was like my yearbook quote. I'm not even kidding you. The pain you feel today is the strength you feel tomorrow. So it's like the pain that you're enduring right now, this season of life, may not even be physical pain, like exercising. It may be like emotional pain. You may be going through something really hard, but it's creating the strength that you'll need for tomorrow. You're going to be stronger tomorrow because of it. And so that's a victory. That's a beautiful thing. So when you can turn pain into direction and you can turn it into a positive, pain is making you tougher. It's making you more capable and more able to take on tomorrow and the next day and the next day to better help others, to better serve yourself. Like, I love that because it's like, oh, pain's a bad thing. Pain's a bad thing. That's what I was thinking when I was getting my blood work done. I had to gaslight myself into thinking like, this pain that I'm going to go through today is going to make me feel stronger and more confident that I can do things I don't think I can do. I don't have a fear of needles and blood. Like, I can be a mother and I can go through pregnancy and I can do all these things, right? Because I did it today. Again, something so silly and mild, but like it applies. Like, those are the silly little things in life, you guys, is why I'm talking to you about this, because it's where you need to apply them. It's not just the big things. It's in the little minute day-to-day things that we experience. You need to be able to apply these and implement them into your day, because little things compound and then they create a really big impact. Okay. It's kind of like when you throw a pebble in the water, ripples, like one little pebble, but it makes a big ripple along the whole water. Like I said, a true wise tied to identity and not ambition. And purpose turns tasks into intention, and it turns pain into direction. Okay, so direct your pain. Utilize it as some fuel to where you want to go. And now we're getting to the point where it's like, if you're sitting here and it's like, how do I discover my why? How do I discover my purpose? How do I discover this? We're going to go through it. I have 5 steps. So the first one, ask yourself, what do I want? There's got to be something in life. If it's, I want to get my degree, I want to become a mother, I want to become a personal trainer, I want to become self-employed, I want to become faster, I want to lose some weight, I want to get stronger, whatever it is. It can be so small. I want to become this isn't small, but I want to be a chef. Like, it can be anything in life that you want. Okay, ask yourself what you want. And now, once you write that, like, I actually think you should write this down and visually see it. Next, ask yourself, why do I want this? What is this feeding? Because sometimes if it's something that just feeds your ego, I would rethink it a little bit and like find a deeper why, right? Because the next question is, ask yourself why that matters. So it's like, for me, I want to compete in high rocks. Okay. I want to become competitively strong in high rocks. That should be my first one. Why? Because I want to see what my body's capable of. I want to prove to you guys that you can do hard things. I want to prove to myself I can do hard things. And I want to see how far I can push myself. Why does that matter to me? Because I have people looking up to me. I have you guys looking up to me. I can inspire a lot of you guys through doing something hard. But more importantly, you guys, I can inspire my family. And that's like my deeper meaning, is like my immediate family. When they see me do a challenge and train for something, it's so inspiring to them. And then for me, it's creating evidence that I can do hard things. So then when I'm faced with something harder in the future, I know I'm strong enough to face it, right? Those are my whys. And that's why that matters, is because it's a greater impact than just me. Yeah, it'd be cool to stand on a podium and hold a flag like that I placed at High Rocks. That'd be amazing. But like, it's so beyond the freaking flag. Like, I want you guys to see through hard work and consistency and discipline and self-control and all these things, pursuing goodness, that like I can achieve something great. Like, that is cool. Number 4, after you ask yourself why that matters, ask yourself, what happens if I don't change? For me, what happens if I don't change? Well, at the cost of leaving room for improvement like on the table, knowing I'm selling myself short. That's the cost. The cost of you guys, maybe somebody could see this and not be inspired from my content and not be moved and not be reached and not be touched and not better themselves because I didn't accomplish anything. I don't want to just kind of like go through life. I want to like little challenges to keep it fun and keep it exciting, keep it like on it. Like, that is motivating to have like little things along the way, like the half marathon. That was really fulfilling for me, because you know how many girls women listening, DM me over the course of the last 3 years being like, hey, you inspired me to start running. That's insane. The reason I talk about my faith, because it changed my life, and I'm inspiring you guys. I am spreading the gospel so you guys can be saved and I can see you in heaven. And then when I get DMs being like, hey, I went to church, I'm going to literally start crying. But when I get a DM from somebody being like, hey, I went to church today because you shared this, I saw your life transform. I see how you have like a different glow in a different way about you, and it inspired me. That's a deeper meaning for me. Like, it's not to get more followers. It's not to make more money. It's genuinely to know, and I mean this with my whole heart, you guys, like, to know that something I'm doing is positively impacting somebody else, because I know the benefit it brought to my life. That's why I share it, because I know it's bettering me and it's making my life more rich and more fulfilling and more exciting and more positive. It's drawing me closer to the Lord, right? And so to know you guys get a taste of that, it could be a bigger taste than I even got, or even a slight taste. Like, I know how rich that is. Everything I post, like, that's literally the heart behind it. Maybe a little funny, silly little like trendy audio. That one might be not as deep, but that's like one of every 10 posts that I post. Like, what I post is so thought out. I hope y'all see that, because like I really do like want y'all to have a little bit of what I have. And not even that what I have is so much better than what you guys have. Like, I know there's a lot of things you guys give to me, and you do in my DMs all the time. We talk and I'm like, wow, I needed that. Like, you guys give back to me just as much as I hope I can give to you. But like, that's my deeper why. So if I don't change, it runs the risk of like that missed opportunity for people in my family and myself. Number 5, ask who suffers if you settle. Again, that's kind of, for me, it's like similar to 4, but like all of you guys, my family and myself. So go through it again one more time, all 5. How to discover your why. Ask yourself what you want. Ask yourself why you want it. Ask yourself, why does that matter? And then ask yourself, what happens if I don't change? Like, what trajectory of my life am I going to go on? And then number 5 is, who will suffer if you settle? Flipping the page, because we still are writing our notes and I'm loving it. So now we're going to talk about, you guys, why you might feel stuck. If you're in a season of life and you feel like you've plateaued, trust me, I just think I'm getting out of my plateau. I've been there for like 2 years. It's not fun. Well, okay, the thing is, in certain areas, I'm talking about like the fitness, work area. That's what I'm kind of like refueling right now, because I was kind of pouring into another area, which was like building a life here in Arizona and building my faith, which are so important. I'm still simultaneously doing that. I'm kind of refocusing my energy now, because I have that kind of sufficiently, that foundation is built now. And now I can like build upon this other foundation of like my work and my fitness, because those are 2 things I'm very, very passionate about. And it's important to have passion. I felt very like unfulfilled and unpassionate about certain things recently, until like as of now. Why are you feeling stuck? Okay. Your spirit's going to know, like, when you're living a life that's too small for you. Like, you're going to be so unsettled and uncomfortable, and you're constantly going to have these racing thoughts of like, I could be doing more. I should be doing more. Like, I was made for more. There's literally a song with this. One of my best friends from high school has it tattooed, made for more. You just know, like, if you know, you're made for more. And I've always just had this feeling of, I felt like called to something. I couldn't ever put my finger on it. Never thought it'd be this. And honestly, I think this is just kind of like that vessel to something bigger in my life. I hope and pray for. And I like every day I'm like, God, please open the door and continue to like lead me down that path and keep me aware and like seeing what you're doing, because I want to go down the right path. And I just know there's like something great, and it's just like a knowing. I don't know how to explain it. There's probably a better way to explain it. I don't know what that is right now, but you just feel in your spirit's like stirred up, and what you're doing, if you're so just not fulfilled by it. Again, everything serves a season. Everything serves a purpose, whether you know it or not, whether it's like out there and noticeable or not. Like, God has you where you are for a reason. So if it's like, I feel like I was called to be the CEO of this and this and this, but I'm working at Aritzia right now, which honestly, the girls at Aritzia dress so cool, and I aspire to have the style that they do. I'm inspired by them. It's like you're serving in that season of life for a reason. It's teaching you something. So nothing's ever wasted. So don't think what you're doing right now is wasting any time at all. But trust in that like unsettled spirit that you're destined to do something greater with it, okay? And like continue to pray on that. That would be my best advice, is just to pray that God can kind of clear that up for you. That's what I'm doing. That's all I got. That's all my advice on that, because I'm still in that season of like, what is it? I'm just doing what I feel led to do by the Spirit. So when your why is shallow, resistance is going to feel really, really heavy. So if you don't have a deep enough why, so if say you're working like a little part-time job, but you feel like really called to be a teacher or something, but you're too scared to like leave working at Aritzia, for example, it's because your why isn't deep enough, and the resistance is going to feel too heavy. So you're like, well, I'm not going to have a steady like income, the discount, I'm going to lose the discount. Like you're going to have all these X, Y, and Z reasons, and those are going to feel way too heavy to leave because your why isn't big enough. But if you feel called to be a teacher, and it's like, I want to impact our youth, I want to like be able to give what I was given by a teacher. I feel like a lot of teachers became teachers because of a teacher they had. And so I think that's a lot of like what they want to give back to their students, is being that person for them. Anyway, that's going to be heavier than those excuses that you're going to come up with. But if you're in a position where it's like you keep making all these excuses to not change, you're going to just have to reflect on your why and find something deeper. Because when your why is deep, resistance feels meaningful. And so that resistance is going to be like, okay, I always say where you feel the most resistance, you're likely the most called. Interesting concept. But like, I heard this topic, and it was a lot of like the like sins that people struggle with are like a direct correlation to their strengths. And it's so interesting. I couldn't even like list exact examples. You could probably Google it, but it was like a podcast, and I was blown away because the one about me was like strikingly like obvious. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So it's like wherever you feel the most resistance, I actually think that's the enemy kind of spiritual warfare and like an attack and trying to keep you from something you're destined to do and you're great at. So kind of pray yourself through that. One important thing to do though is to shift from motivation to alignment. So like I said, we can't depend on motivation. That's kind of the topic, the whole premise of this episode. We can't just rely on that motivation. We got to be aligned in what we're doing. And when you feel aligned in what you're doing and you feel like led and called, you don't need motivation. You just show up because like you're doing the part. It just feels right. It fits. Okay. And it's really crazy because I can't talk about it yet, but like, let's just know I'm working on something really exciting, this huge project. And I got so many bits of confirmation this week, literally a week ago, like at rally last week, 2 times within an hour, so unexpectedly. And I was just confirmed and confirmed and confirmed and confirmed. I'm like, okay, Lord, I feel you. I hear you. I was praying on it and he delivered. And he's so specific, y'all. He is so specific. Okay. But stop waiting for direction and start creating direction. Okay. I hate when people are like, just waiting for the right time, waiting for the right time. It's like, create the right time. You can take action. You can create your reality. We're human beings. We have the power to do that. Nothing's just going to magically land in your lap. Like God, even when you're praying for stuff, he makes you work for it. If you're like, Lord, I pray to have more joy, he's probably going to put you in times of sorrow to produce the perseverance of fleeting joy. Like I've been praying for joy and I'm like, I have been through some like emotional roller coasters, but in the moment, I'm like, Chloe, joy, joy, joy. Find all things for the good. Like everlasting joy, 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 joy. I remember there's a Bible verse and I'm literally blanking on it. And I wish I could remember right now. I don't know. One of you guys are probably like, duh, it's this, but I just can't think of it. But it's just interesting what you pray for. He wants you to create it and develop it. Okay. He doesn't just, here you go. No work and effort required. Like he requires the refinement period. Okay. And that's often like the opposite to strengthen it, right? Start creating direction and build your life around your why and not the tasks to get there. So like I wake up and have a to-do list every single day, but if I would view those more so as pieces of my why, like understanding like I need to post this podcast clip, this why, to reach somebody I probably didn't reach before. It's not just because it's on my to-do list to do, but to remind myself why I'm doing it. What's the purpose behind it? And it's going to make those tasks a lot simpler to do and get through. Maybe it's going to the gym, warming up. Oh, I don't want to walk on the Stairmaster. But if I do, I'll get the blood flowing. I'll feel looser. I'll break a little bit of a sweat. I get more in the zone. I'm more focused in my workout. That's my why. And then when you put the why out there, it's more so, it's like you're putting the benefit. It's like you're putting the reward right there. And now you're just chasing after the reward rather than thinking about chasing after a task. So it's like, I need to go to sleep. Or it's like, oh, I'm going to wake up in the morning, feel so rested. My body's going to recover super well. I'm going to feel better. My inflammation is going to be better. I'm going to be in a better mood. I'm going to have more energy tomorrow. Those are all appealing things. So just do the thing, cross the bridge to get there rather than being like, I need to go to sleep early. That sounds like a chore rather than being like, oh, I'm choosing to be recovered and to be well rested and to be energized and to feel good. I want those things. That's easy to do, right? So anchor every day to one intention tied to your purpose, not just 10 random obligations. So when you're writing out your day, when you're thinking of your day, whatever it is, give yourself one intention tied to your purpose in life, like whatever that purpose is in that season. And it will make it so much easier to do the hard things because motivation's fleeting. Discipline's great. But again, things are going to break that discipline cycle and you're going to need something deeper like that. Why? Start implementing it. It will change your life. I've been doing this the last like week or so. And I'm like, I get it now. It's just like you see things a little clearer after you view the world like that. And it's exciting and it makes you kind of just want to attack all these hard things and just see what you're capable of rather than fearing. So I hope y'all are inspired by this. I recommend the book Iron Hope. It's about a man. I was gonna talk about it earlier and I forgot, but it's about a man who did 100 Ironmans in 100 days, one every single day for 100 days. That's crazy. It's so inspiring. Really good. Again, I listened to it on Audible. But that book, I ran 5 miles. I'm like, this is a cakewalk compared to doing all that. So, use those little, things when you can. Use them to your advantage. But I encourage you to read that book. I encourage you guys to write down your why. Ask yourself what your why is. And I hope that it makes things a little easier in life. You can get up and do the hard things a little easier because there's more meaning behind it rather than a little task to get done on your list. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. That made me so excited to talk about. This is like one of my favorite topics. I love these topics. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Share it, send it to somebody who may need it. And I love you, and we will chat next week. Bye, guys.